Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm coming to you with a summer book haul. I've gotten a decent number of more books recently, some that were sent to me, a few that I bought myself this time, and I'm excited to share them all with you because some of them are ones that I bought in like really pretty editions and they're just so beautiful and I really just want to share them because they're so pretty and I love pretty books. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. The first book I have to haul is actually our Fiction Faction book of the month, and that is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This month we are working with Squarespace, so thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is this amazing service that allows you to create and design your own website. You can use it to start up your own business or create a blog or sell some merchandise. Whatever you need, it allows you to create a website in a very easy way. And I'm really excited to be working with them this month because I've been wanting to make my own website for a while now, and I think this is the perfect way to do it. I'm going to be talking about them a bit more at the end of this video and giving you guys some more details and info if you're interested, so be sure to check that out. But as I was saying, this is our Fiction Faction Book Club book of the month for this month, and I am so excited to be reading it. This is my first Morgan Matson book that I will ever read, and I'm very excited to get into it because so many people have told me that they love Morgan Matson books. I am getting super into contemporary recently, and I've been wanting like a romance contemporary to read, so this is going to be perfect for that, and I can't wait. I will of course leave all of the info for Fiction Faction linked in the description box if you would like to join us. This month it's going to be me, Natasha, Maureen, as well as Haley and Naya, just like last month, and we're all going to be reading this book, discussing it, having our live show. I think July 30th is the date that we've decided on, but again, all this info will be in the description box if you want to join us and read this book with us this month. It's going to be a really fun time. The next few books I have to show you all are all books that I recently ordered from Book Outlet. If you didn't know, I'm a Book Outlet vlogger friend, so I have like a page on their website that shows you all the books I've ever ordered from them. I get to work with them and they send me a gift card to order some books from their site and show you in my hauls. So that's what I've done. Once again, I have some more fabulous books that they recently had that I'm so excited to get into. The first one I have here is actually a graphic novel. It's also one I've already read, and that is Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. I truly don't know how to describe this book because it's one of the most unique things I have ever read, and honestly one of the most emotional books I've ever read. It's basically about this little alien guy who comes to Earth and he's looking for humans, but he meets a bunch of these animals and plants and he talks to them. It's written in a very kind of like childish way. It has a lot of misspellings, a lot of improper grammar, intentionally obviously, but it's truly one of the happiest things I've ever read. It's such a hopeful book. It's about humanity. It's about who we are, what we mean to each other, what we mean to the world. And oh, I can't even express it. This book just makes me so inexplicably happy. It also makes me very sad. Like I cried while reading it because some of the like little lines and quotes are just so powerful. It reads a lot like poetry, and I just highly recommend it. It's so cute and so beautiful, and oh, I want more from this author. The next three books I have are all part of a series, and honestly, I know nothing about this series. I picked it up because I wanted to binge a new series, and I didn't want to know anything about it. I just wanted something fantasy, and I saw these on there. I had heard a couple of people talk about the first one, so I was like, I will try it. We'll see how this goes. If I don't like it, it's okay. But that is the Invisible Library series. So we have The Invisible Library, The Masked City, and The Burning Page. I think this is the order they're in. I know that's the first one. I'm not sure about these two. But yeah, I haven't really heard much about this series. I've heard a couple people talk about the first book. I've had a few of you all recommend the series to me before, and I'm just excited to go into a new series having like no expectations because genuinely I have none. And I'm just excited to try something completely new, something I've heard like almost nothing about. And I feel like I haven't done that for a while, so I'm excited to do it. The next book I have here is actually the third book in a series where I only have the first book and I don't have the second book yet, but I saw this on there and I was like, I may as well get it now because I know I want to binge this series as well. And that is The Sweet Far Thing by Libba Bray. This is the third book in the, what's it called? A Great and Terrible Beauty series. I have the first book, like I said, don't have the second one yet. I haven't even read the first one yet. And you're probably thinking, what are you doing buying the third book when you haven't even read the first one? You don't even know if you're gonna like it. You've made this mistake so many times in the past. I know, I'm fully aware of all those things, but I never learn. So here we are again. I just like having the whole trilogy so that I can binge all of them when I know I want to read it. Plus, I really think I'm gonna like this because I love Libba Bray. I've loved everything I've ever read from Libba Bray, and I don't anticipate not liking this, so it wasn't like that much of a risk. The next book I have here is one that I don't know anything about, and I like genuinely don't want to know anything about it. I've just heard a lot of people saying that it's really good, and a lot of my friends have read it and they recommend it, and that book is The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. Like I said, don't know anything about this book. I think the only thing is that maybe the main romance is between two girls. I'm pretty sure that's this book. Don't know for sure. But again, I don't want to know anything. I'm literally not going to say anything about the plot because I want to be surprised. And that's something that I've been trying to do more and more often recently because that's what I used to do all the time. And I felt like lately more and more I've been knowing like too much about the plot of a book before I get into it. And that gives me way too many expectations about the story. And I really like knowing almost nothing. So yeah, I'm excited to try this out because I've had friends recommend it, like I said, and if it has a queer main romance, I'm excited about that too. So yeah, I can't wait to try this. The next book I have here is another one that I actually didn't think I would want to read because I haven't read any other books by this author and I have nothing against them. I just like had no interest in it until I heard some people talking about it and they told me what it was actually about, and then I got real excited and then I ordered it. And that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Like I said, I had no plans on reading this because I really didn't know what it was about, haven't read any Marissa Meyer books, didn't care too much to read it, but then I was at Book Expo and I was talking to Emma from Emma Books about it and she was saying how much she loves this book, and then she told me that it's about like kids with superpowers, and I didn't know that. And once she said that, I was like, okay, I have to read it because I love books about kids with superpowers. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it, but nonetheless, I'm so excited to get into it because I think it'll be really, really fun. It's also really long, but it doesn't really intimidate me. I like longer books anyway. So yeah, I really hope that this lives up to my expectations and that it's everything that I love in superpower books. So those are all the books that I ordered from Book Outlet, and now I'm gonna get into some more books that I ordered myself recently from like various places because I just really needed them in my life and because I love them all. The first one I have to haul is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is the first book in the series. I recently binged this entire series and fell completely in love. I am obsessed with these books. I've ordered the other two as well. They're just not here yet. But I literally can't express how much I love this book because of how happy it makes me. And I can't believe it took me so long to read it. I can't believe I thought I wouldn't like it. I was so wrong. I've never been so happy to be so wrong. But yeah, I immediately had to buy the book. I read it because I wanted to watch the movie. Then I fell in love and proceeded to read the other two instantly. Now I just want to read it over and over and over again forever. The next book I have here is one that I ordered from Book Depository recently because I really needed this edition because I don't like the US edition, and this UK cover is gorgeous. I read this book a little bit earlier this year and now it's one of my all-time favorite books, and that is Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson. This is the gorgeous, gorgeous UK cover that I am so in love with because this one is just, in my opinion, so much nicer than the US cover. I don't like the US cover at all, and that was what was keeping me, I think, from reading it because I didn't like the cover, which I know is superficial and petty. But nonetheless, I still read the book and I fell in love with it, so I knew I had to get myself a copy because I can't not own this one because it's literally one of my favorite books ever. And when I saw that they had this cover that existed, I immediately bought it because it was also way cheaper than the rest of them. But yeah, I love it. The spine is also pink. Like, it's just so nice. And then the next book that I ordered from Book Depository is another UK edition of a book that I've already read, I already own, I already love, and that is the UK exclusive collector's edition of Vicious by V.E. Schwab. They released Vicious with new covers recently. The US cover is also absolutely beautiful, but I fell in love with this UK cover when I saw it and I knew I had to have it. I love the size of it because it's just like small and cute. And then it also has like a ribbon bookmark, and then like the inside is gorgeous and the outside is gorgeous. Like, I love the design of this so much. But yeah, I am so happy to have this. I need to get the Vengeful cover in this edition as well. And TBH, knowing myself, I will probably also buy the US ones because I will never not spend money on Victoria Schwab books because I love her. But yeah, love this edition so much. It's so gorgeous, probably one of my favorite books I own. The next book I have here is a poetry collection that I recently ordered, and it's one I've also already read, and that is Dropkick Romance by Cyrus Parker. Like I said, I've already read this collection. I absolutely loved it. I thought that there were so many poems that were just like so powerful, and I related to a lot of them, and I want to go through like the physical edition because I read it on ebook and mark up my favorite ones like I do with all of my poetry collections, so I can't wait to do that. So that's why I had to order the physical one so I could have it on my shelves. And then the last book that I ordered myself is, again, the third book in a series where I only have the first one and I don't have the second one. But this is a series I have already started. I love the first book. I know I'm gonna love the whole series, so I had to get this when I saw that it was super cheap. and that is In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken, the third book in the Darkest Minds trilogy. There's not much to say about this. Like I already said, I've read the first book, really loved it, planning on reading the next one really soon, and then moving on to this one, so I wanted to have the copy so that I can get to it once I need it, because I have the other one on audiobook. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue on in this series. Love Alex Bracken's writing and the world and the characters, and I'm so excited for the movie. And then lastly, these last 4 books I have to show you all are books that were just sent to me in a box by Simon & Schuster, so thank you so much to them. I was not expecting this at all, and I'm very excited about these. The first book that they sent me is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. All I really know about this book is that it takes place in New York City in a time where magic no longer exists for most people, but there are some people who still have it, but they kind of have to be in hiding. And just everything about that sounds really interesting to me. I don't want to know too much more about the actual plot. I like the whole magic in New York City setting. New York City definitely has that magical feel to it, so whenever there's a fantasy, like urban fantasy world set there, I really enjoy those. I also really like the cover of this, especially the back of it, because it has like what I think is the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know anything about New York, so like don't hate me if I'm wrong, but it's like on fire, but like magical fire, and it looks really cool. So yeah, I'm excited to try this out. I don't think I've heard too much about it, but I'm hoping to really enjoy it because I'm in such a fantasy mood and a contemporary mood. It's very weird. But yeah, once I'm in more of a fantasy mood, I'll definitely be picking this one up. The next book that they sent me is The Becoming of Noah Shaw by Michelle Hodkin. This is the continuation of, I think, the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series. I own that trilogy. I haven't read them yet. I do want to, but I did not know that they were continuing it on, and then I found out about it, and then I wanted to read that series, and then they sent this my way, so it was a really nice surprise. I don't know what it's about because I don't know what the original trilogy is about at all, except that it's like paranormal romance, and yeah, I don't really want to know what this is about because I don't want to spoil myself. I can't wait to actually get to that series. I feel like I'm gonna pick it up probably fairly soon because I've been like in a really like, how do I word this right? In like a classic YA mood. So I've been going back and reading like vintage YA, that's what I'm gonna call it, and really enjoying some of them. So I think I'll probably pick that one up soon and then probably get around to this one if I like it, but I'm excited to try them all out. And then the last 2 books they sent me were this Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada and the paperback of The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I literally own 3 copies of this book. I have given away one of them, I think, and then I have the other one, and now I have a third one. So I might actually do a giveaway with this one because, like I said, I own too many copies of it already. But I do not have this Mortal Coil. I've actually never heard of this book before. Okay, so I read a little bit of the summary, and basically it takes place in this world where people's DNA is implanted with like code. So it's like genetically changed them in some sort of way, which sounds really cool and really eerie, and I'm excited to try this out. This is different from anything I've ever read. Also, the cover looks really cool, especially on camera. I know I keep talking about covers in this video, but I just really like pretty books, and well-designed covers are like my favorite thing in the world. All right, but there you all have it. That is it for my book haul. Once again, a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Squarespace is this wonderful platform that allows you to create your own websites. You can transfer and buy your own domain names directly on their website, which is much easier than having to like do it from an outside source. And you can use their website to do whatever you would like, whatever works best for you. Like I said, you can start a business, you can create a blog, you can sell merchandise, and I definitely want to start creating my own website very soon because a lot of people have asked me if I'm gonna have merch, and like, I don't know, like this is not a promise of merch, but I kind of want to make merch, so I might do that. And I'm definitely going to use Squarespace to make that website because it'll make it way easier. But if you've been looking to jumpstart your business, or if you have been wanting to make a book blog for a while, Squarespace is definitely an easy place for you to start that if you'd like to. So if you're ready to start your own website, go check out squarespace.com to get a free trial. And once you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Hannah Azarang, my name, to get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain. And also, I think Natasha is using Squarespace to put together a fiction faction website for all of us, so that'll be up pretty soon as well too, which will be really exciting, so make sure to go check that out once it's up too. So yeah, once again, a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to join us all for our Fiction Faction Book Club Book of the Month. Read Save the Date with us and join us for our live show. It's gonna be such a fun time. But yeah, there you all have it for my summer book haul. I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video. What are your thoughts on any of them? But that is it for this video. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social media, all my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!